Hey guys, this will be one of two videos where we make some final improvements to our social network application. There are a couple of cleanup tasks left to do, and we need to add a couple extra pieces to help improve the user experience. In this first video, we will add the external CSS and move all of our styles to that file. We will also improve the text for each post and comment, and add the profile picture next to the username. With that said, let's get started by adding the external CSS file. So the first thing to do this, we need to add some things to our settings.py file. So we'll come to our social network, to our settings.py, and we'll scroll down here to the bottom. And so right above the static URL, we need to add one more line. So we'll go ahead and we'll type in all caps static files underscore dirs equals a list. And this will hold all of our static directories. In this case, we only have one. So we'll just type os.path.join, and we'll pass in our base dir, add on in all quotes static. So let's go to our base directory and add a folder there called static, and that will hold all of our static files, and we'll add our CSS file in that folder. Let's go ahead and save that. Now let's go ahead and make that CSS file right now. So we'll go ahead and in our base directory, we'll create a new folder. We'll call it static. And inside that static folder, we'll go ahead and create a new file, and we'll save this, and we'll call this style.css. There we go. Now let's go ahead and actually load this into our base template. So we'll go to our landing app, go to our landing templates, go to our base.html, and at the very top, first thing we need to do, we need to go ahead and bring in our static tags. So we'll type 2 curly braces, 2% signs, load static. And now below this link tag right here, we'll go ahead and make another link tag. Link href equals, and we'll do 2 curly braces, 2% signs, and we'll do static. And then in quotes, we'll do style.css. And then we'll go ahead and add a rel equals style sheet. And we'll save that. Now let's go ahead, open up a terminal here. I already have my virtual environment activated, so I'll go ahead and just type python 3 manage.py run server. And you'll see here now, it looks like our style CSS is coming out with a 200 response, so this is all working fine. Now with that change done, let's go ahead and start moving some things over. So if I go to each of my templates, I can go and just grab all of my styles and move them into my style.css file. So we'll start here with my nav.html. You'll see here we have one style that's for removing all the default button styles. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and delete this, add a class, and I'll call it remove-default-btn. And we'll jump into my style.css and we'll create this class. So we'll do a period and then remove-default-btn. We'll go ahead and add on all of the styles that we had there previously. So we'll do a background color of transparent. We'll do a border of none and a box shadow of none. And now if we go ahead and come back to our app here, reload the page, our button looks exactly the same, so it's all working well. Now we'll do the same thing for every template inside of our social app. So we'll go to our templates, social, and let's go one by one. I'll just do a Control F, I'll type style, define any styles in these files. So it looks like our comment delete, post delete are fine. We go to our post detail. We have a few here. So we have an edit color right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and create a class and call it edit color. So I'll remove this and put a class equal to edit-color. Now go into my style.css and we'll add that class. So do edit-color. I'll just have a color of 333. Save that. Oops. Come back here. We'll do the same thing for here. Remove this style and replace it with a class equaling edit-color. We'll find our next style, which is down here, which once again is the same remove default button styles. So do a class of remove-default-btn. Save that. Let's go to the next one, which is the exact same thing, which is default button styles. So we'll do a class of remove post-default-btn. And down here, we'll remove this style and replace it with a class of edit-color. And that should be it for that one. Let's go to the next one. Our post edit, find any styles in there. There are none. So move on to the next one, our post list. Right here, we have a text decoration of none, and that's for our link on our posts. So I'll go ahead in my CSS, I'll create another class down here. I'll call it .post-link, and that will hold the same thing of just text decoration, none. Save that. Let's go ahead and make that change inside of our post list now. Replace this. Actually, we'll delete this because we have a class right here already. We'll add on post-link and save that. Find the next one, which is once again our button. So we'll go ahead and put a class of remove default btn. Save that. We'll jump to the next one. Oops, I should say style. And we have once again another default button here. So we'll replace this with a class equaling remove default btn and save that. Okay, and that should be it for this file. I'm gonna go ahead now, just double check, make sure everything's working fine before we go any further. So I'll log in with my admin account. Oops, try it again. And you'll see if we go first right here, these buttons look fine. There's no underline there, so that's looking good. We go into our post detail. Once again, our buttons look fine there. So everything still is working well. Okay, on to our next file, which is our profile.html. Let's go ahead and find any styles in here. Once again, we have our color, so we'll replace this with a class of edit-color and do the same thing right here as well. Edits or class equals edit-color and save that. Go on to the next one, which is our link, our post link class again. So delete this, come into our class right here and add a post-link and save that. And we have, looks like 2 buttons. So we'll go ahead and remove this, remove this whole line here, replace this with class equals remove default btn and do the same thing. I'll go and just copy it for this one down here and paste that right there. There we go. And I'll go to profile edit. I don't think there's anything in here. Nope. So go to our search.html and remove any styles in here. We have one, which is our post-link. So I'll remove this and I'll come into our class attribute here and add a post-link class there. Okay, let's go ahead and double check everything, that everything's working well still. So I made some changes in the profile. There's still no underline there. That's working well. Our buttons look good. And let's do a search real quick. And that all looks fine. There's no underline there. Okay, perfect. With that working, let's go ahead and jump into the next thing. What we want to do now is we want to add to our views.py, we want to add a filter so that only the users that the current logged in user is following shows up in the social feed. So if we look in our app here, right now, this shows up every single user that's on this that made a post, no matter if they're following them or not following them. So we're gonna filter this out so it only shows the users that this currently logged in user is following. And we can do that pretty easily inside of our views.py file. So we'll jump into that, our social and our views.py. And right here, you'll see we do post.objects.all. We can change this all just to a filter, and we can filter out by that query. So I'll move this different line, I'll put this right in here, and here we can go ahead and filter out these posts. But before I do that, right above this, I'm going to add one more line here and just put logged in user equals requests.user, just to make it a little more clear what we're doing there. And now from here, we can go ahead and grab the followers from the profile linked to this post. And so this might be a little confusing, so I'm going to walk through real quick. Right now we're on a post, and we need to get to the followers. And the way we can do that, we can go to this author right here, which is a user. Every user has a profile, so we can grab that profile off that user, and then grab their followers list from that profile. So we kind of have to work our way from the post to the user to the profile, then to the followers. And so in our views here, we can do that by doing author double underscore profile double underscore followers double underscore in equals a list that is logged in user.id. So if this logged in user, if the ID of this logged in user is within this followers list that we found here, then it will return it in this post variable that will list it out on our page. Let's go ahead and save that now, jump back into our application here, reload the page, and all the posts go away. If I go to a user, so we'll find our test 5 user, for example, we'll follow them, come back here, and now the test 5 users posts are showing up. So this is all working well. And we can still get to our own posts by going to our profile and seeing them all right here. So that's all working very well. Next, let's go ahead and update this line right here. Let's add a profile picture next to it so that it can, just so it looks a little better, I guess. And we'll add some margins as well and a few other things. So let's go back to our text editor here. And let's jump into our post list.html. We'll start there. We need to do it to a couple files, but for now, just close these all out. Let's go to our post list to start. So what we want to do here, we want to find where we list out that line. So it would be right here, this paragraph tag with a link tag that goes through all this. First, we're going to wrap everything in a div. So right above this, I'll do a div, close this off, and then go ahead and close off this div as well. We'll open this up, and we'll put in this line right here. And now let's go ahead and break up this paragraph tag to a separate line like this. And let's add a class onto this paragraph line here of post-text. We jump into our CSS file. Let's go and add another class here. So we'll add one of .post-text, and this will hold just some padding to kind of separate this out a little bit. So we'll do a padding -top, and this equals 0.5 rem. Now back into our post list here. And now above this paragraph tag here, we need to add an image. So first I'll make an img tag, and I'll go ahead and give this a class equaling to, we'll do rounded circle to make it a circle. And we'll add a class of post-img, which we'll add some styles to here in a second. Next, I'm going to give it a height equaling 30, a width equaling 30, and an src, and this will equal 2 curly braces, put in a variable, and it will just be the post.author.profile.picture.url. And so what we're doing here again, we're going from the post, we're finding the user that's saved in this author field, going to their profile, going to the picture and grabbing that URL and putting that inside this source tag right here. Let's go and add our closing slash there for this tag. And now the last thing we want to add is a link around this image to link to the profile as well. So I add an A tag with an href. And this will be a Django URL. So we'll do 2 curly braces, 2% signs, and we'll do URL profile. And we'll pass in post.author.profile.pk. Same as down here, just to get the profile primary key, go to the correct URL. Now let's go ahead and close off this link right below the image. Let's fix our indents real quick, like that, and save that. Now let's go ahead and add some styles onto our post-img class. So back in our style CSS, we'll add another class here, b.post-img. And we need to add 2 things here. First, we want to add a float of left, and we want to add some margin-right of 1 rem. And so what we're doing here, we're floating it left, so it's right next to our username link as well, and some margin right, so they're not right up against each other. Now let's go and go back to our browser here, reload the page, and there we go. We have our image with some spacing here. It's right next to our other link and our text for the date. So that's all working well. Now we do the same thing for a few other pieces. We got to do it here here in our search as well. So let's go ahead one by one and update these. So now we'll go from our post list, we'll go to our post detail, and this one will be the exact same as our post list. So I'm actually going to go ahead and just copy this whole div right here. We'll just copy that, come back into our post detail, and replace this strong tag right here with that line. But we want to go ahead and remove this paragraph as well. We don't want that around it. So remove that paragraph. And we'll fix our indents right here. Like that. We'll go ahead and save that. And that should be good. Let's go ahead and jump back and test that real quick. With the page, let's jump into a post detail. And there we go. Now we have our image and our link, and these both go back to the profile. Okay, next let's do the same thing for the actual profile text. So we'll do the same thing right here as well. So jumping back into our text editor, let's go ahead and once again, we'll keep that copied again just to make sure we have it. Let's go ahead and jump into our profile.html. Scroll down here, we're listing out our posts, and let's replace this line right here, this paragraph line and that link, replace it with the same thing. Go and fix our indents. We'll go ahead and save that. Let's go ahead and jump back into this, reload the page, and there we go. Now we have our image next to our link again. Finally, we'll do the same thing for search. So if I come up here and I search for something, we'll search for AD, for example. We want to add the profile image here as well. So back in our text editor, we can add that, doing the same thing. But this will be a little different. So let me paste it right above this to start. So in this one right here, we have our image, but we also have this text down here. For profiles, we don't have a create on date, so we'll delete that. And for our post.author, this should be profile.user. In this case, we're not going through profiles, we're not going through posts, we're going through profiles instead. And so that's what we'll need to make that change there. And then for all of our links, instead of doing post.author.profile.pk, we can just do profile.pk. So let's change all of our links to match that. So right here, profile.picture.url is all we'll need. And we'll get rid of this up here. So just profile.pk. And I think that is it. Let's go ahead and save that and see how that looks. Back here, reload the page. And there we go. So now we have our username and our link that once again goes to the profile. And now we want to do the exact same thing for our comments text. So if we were in here, made a comment, posted that comment, it's just the strong tag again. We want to change that to match this style as well. So back in our text editor, we'll go to our post detail, and let's go ahead and copy this again. And let's come down to where we're listing out our comments. So right here, we have a strong tag. I'm going to post this right above it to start because it's also going to be changed. So you'll see down here in our strong tag, we have comment.author. So everywhere up here where it has posts needs to be changed to comment. So we'll go one by one here. We'll do comment.author.profile, comment.author.profile, right here, comment again. And down here, we'll do comments and comments. I think that's all we'll need to change. Let's go ahead and delete this strong tag. Save that. And let's go ahead and try this real quick and see how it looks. And there we go. Now we have our picture next to our username again. And now there's one more thing you want to fix in this video. Right now, if we go to our delete comment and hit the back to post, we get this error. It does not exist social/post/7. If you look at our URL over here, this is post/5 comment/delete 7. And so our comment PK is 7 and our post PK is 5. But when we try to go back, it puts us back to our comment PK, which doesn't exist as a post. So this is a really quick, easy fix. It's something I just forgot when we made this page. And so I can fix this, can be fixed pretty easily by jumping back into our text editor and going to our comment delete. And up here at the top, we have this back to post button. I put object.pk. this should be object.post.pk to take us to the post primary key. And with that change, this should all work good now. So if I reload this page, hit back to post, now it takes us back to that post that we're just on. And that should be it for this video. This is just a quick cleanup of some things we need to do here. We'll do one more video like this where we'll clean up some of the profile. We need to add a few more things here so you can actually see who their followers are, see who they're following, like you would on most social media platforms today, as well as any other small things that come up that need to be fixed or cleaned up a little bit. But yeah, that'll be it for now. The links to the code will be in the description below, as well as a link to the written tutorial. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.